Although Meghan Markle was not herself featured on the TIME100 most influential list, she was invited to the TIME100 summit to be the event's keynote speaker because I guess she was seen as important enough for that, but not important enough to be officially featured on the list. I don't know. But the most ridiculous part of this appearance of Meghan Markle was during a Q&A panel when they asked her about her As Ever lifestyle brand and the way that she has included flour sprinkles on all of the things she's baking on her Netflix show, and they are included in some of the cookie mixes that she sells on her website. And apparently it's not just sprinkles. It really is deep and meaningful and profound to put edible flowers on cookies. There is a deep explanation for why she does this, and she's encouraging the entire world to follow suit. So here is her answer to that question. Why are you putting flowers on everything?
I love minutia. Let's do this.
Yeah.
All things to be talking about for TIME100. Let's talk about flower sprinkles. Because I think it speaks to the tiny moments of joy that are so effortless and just create a little bit of magic that we're all craving in our everyday. They're tiny little flower petals that are dried. I started putting them on salads. I started putting them on scrambled eggs. It didn't actually matter. On a yogurt parfait. The level of charm that you find people have when they see these tiny little dried petals is something I can't fully wrap my head around, but I appreciate that there is a love for the detail and the small level of delight that can be added. So take
the skit makers on Instagram are going to go crazy with this one.
Flower sprinkles really as an analogy, and think about what you could do in your everyday life that can just have a little splash of magic.
Look, I do that every day at this job. Okay? Some days, guys, Mary wants to talk about this stuff, and it's just so depressing. And I'm like, look, I'm going to bring some flower sprinkles to this topic. Okay. Every time a Mary laughs, another flower is sprinkled on something.
What are your flower sprinkles?
It doesn't matter. Everything I say is a flower sprinkle. Okay. Everything. Okay.
You're a walking, talking flower sprinkle.
I make every situation better.
On unexpected moments.
Just a little splash of magic, where you just sprinkle some magic on your scrambled eggs.
Every super chat is a little flower sprinkle. You too, audience, can give us flower sprinkles.
She finds magic in the little things.
I don't even know what to say other than whoa. I just but this is also, I kind of talk about women's ability to like over exaggerate something, and it can be endearing sometimes in a lot of ways, because I actually do find the idea of like when you're really like interested in something and you really care about something and you like to talk about something, that's actually usually really, really endearing. And it actually draws me to like a lot of the content that I like to watch. It's people who are very, very obsessed or love something and want to talk about it. But I don't know how that translates to sprinkles and flower petals. So this could be my own bias speaking, that I'm just like, I want to dunk on her, so I'm dunking on her. Whereas somebody who likes her is going to hear this and be like, oh, she's passionate about this. Maybe I'm not giving her enough credit.
Well, I'm sure if Olivia, your fiance, were passionate about edible flower sprinkles, you would be too. But because it's Meghan Markle, who is fashioning herself to be some kind of female entrepreneur, business pioneer, female founder, and
founder of sprinkles and flowers.
She's going around, you know, making this image of herself as a serious person. It sounds ridiculous to hear her pretending to hold back charmed laughter about the flower sprinkles that she puts on her yogurt parfait. The way that the cracks in her voice that she fakes when she's like trying to make herself sound authentic and sincere, that's really what grinds my gears. It's just like, a little like splash of magic in the little things in life.
It's like me.
And people just love it. And I guess that's why I launched As Ever, so that I can share the magic with the rest of the planet, because I'm like the entire Earth's fairy godmother, sprinkling edible flowers on everyone, and everyone just loves me.
Is there a male equivalent to this? I'm trying to connect with this in some way. Is there like a male equivalent to this?
Men like
is this like
guns and trucks?
Is this like Emerald? Kick it up a notch,
look,
bam.
I like baking and all that. Like, nothing wrong with that. It's just the contradiction is clear when Meghan Markle is trying to get people to take her seriously as an entrepreneur and a business leader. And this is how she talks. And she clearly has no idea how this lands with people. She also spoke about her life on stage as a working mother, saying she has launched her 3 projects: With Love, Meghan on Netflix, her business As Ever, and her podcast Confessions of a Female Founder at the same time. And she's spent the last year and a half being incredibly busy and ambitious. She watches it all come to life, and she has made a point to give herself, quote, the space and the grace to make mistakes, to know that you're not going to get it right every day.
Well, as I've always said, there's nothing a woman wants to do more than forgive herself for something.
And people noticed that although Meghan Markle was the keynote speaker at the TIME100 summit, she did not end up making an appearance later on with Prince Harry at the TIME100 Gala, party.
Well, the thing is, he probably choked on a flower sprinkle and had to be brought to the
Exactly.
ER.
There was a medical emergency. But no, in reality, this was her explanation for not attending the after party.
Okay.
During her TIME100 summit talk, Meghan hinted at why their trip to New York would be brief. It turns out the couple had a very important milestone they needed to get back to at their home in Montecito, California. Their 5-year-old son, Archie, is losing his first tooth. So that's not because nobody wanted them at the after party, or they weren't invited, or they're disliked by the people there. It was because she's just so busy, with her edible flower sprinkles and her son's tooth falling out.
I like the idea. Well, actually, you know what? I would like to hear her thoughts on the tooth fairy, because that's like a whole conversation that people have about the myth of they don't want to talk. Like the people who talk. We've talked about introducing your kids to Santa Claus.
Yeah,
right?
I'm pro.
I wonder if she does the thing where she wraps the dental floss around the tooth and then ties it to the doorknob. And then she says flower petal, and then slams the door shut.
She's one of the Powerpuff Girls, sugar, spice, and everything nice,
I just
she also
I can't think of a guy. I can't think of a male version of this that's not I just can't.
Souping up your car.
No. No, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. I can't think of it. I guess maybe it's male lifestyle influencers, I guess.
Rubbing your face with a banana peel, maybe.
Actually, that might be the collaboration we need next. He's going to
rub
Hall
flower sprinkles on his face in his morning
Hall.
routine.
I saw this amazing one the other day where a dog does the morning routine, and it's a dog with human hands.
Meghan Markle also addressed how she handles scrutiny from the public and the press, and she recalled a famous quote about how going online is the best way to feel bad for yourself. And she said, so I don't do that. I made a very conscious effort to create boundaries for myself and my mental health and well-being, and certainly to role model that for my children. I'm conscious of not just raising a very strong and confident young woman, but also having a son. I think it's just as paramount of importance for young men to be raised with a confidence and sense of self that is going to empower the women around them too.
Well, yes. So what the most important thing about raising a son is to make sure that the women around him feel empowered.
Right.
You absolute scumbag.
It's like those memes that are I'm not gonna raise a dusty.
Yeah. I like the ones that are taking my daughter on vacation so she isn't impressed by your dusty ass 3-day trip to Florida.
I hate it.
Your dusty-ass son's 3-day trip to Florida.
I went through the full Time 100 list to see who they included. And the way they compile this list is supposed to be unbiased. It's not about whether you think personally that these people are making a good or bad impact on the world. It's just that they're making an impact. So there were a lot of people from the Trump administration. J.D. Vance was one of them. There was also Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk.
My favorite part of them talking, like when Blake Lively was giving her speech, was all of the champagne glasses next to her. Just like all of just the champagne glasses full of alcohol that nobody they're actually pretending to care about can afford.
The forks and the champagne glasses clinking and the fake laughs and the designer clothes. It's just, I don't resent them for being rich. I resent them for being liars. Yeah. I think that's the problem.
No, like rich is not the problem. Self-important and rich is the problem.
For being self-important liars who virtue signal constantly, especially in the example of Blake Lively and Meghan Markle, who are being credited with these. This is what they say on the Time 100 list. Innovators, titans, icons, leaders, pioneers. Blake Lively is none of those things. Meghan Markle is none of those things. And they're getting undue credit because I guess they're just trying to farm rage from people. And it's working.
The next women's summit should be like breakthrough criminals. And it can
Anna
feature
Delvey, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, Elizabeth Holmes.
And they'll give Elizabeth Holmes the Titan of Crime Award.
But to make sure that's fair.
Truly breaking down barriers for female criminals. They're not just poisoners who kill their abusive husbands anymore.
Yeah. They're capable of white-collar crime.
They can commit fraud too.
Break glass ceilings in prison.
You can sell a glass ceiling that doesn't exist.
Feature Martha Stewart as well.
That's who would win the Pioneer of Women in Crime Award.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.